Hello and welcome to Hello Vimbo. This is the podcast where I talk about everything, all the things. I am here to encourage you to practice self-care daily. I am an educator. I am passionate about connecting with other people and encouraging them to realize and recognize that self-care, it isn't a one-time thing. It isn't something we do on the weekends or when we have time. It should be something we practice every single day to ourselves in order to live full and rich lives. So I'm just so excited to be on today. I'm very excited to talk about today's topic. I'm so excited for our You Glow Girl segment this week. This is a segment where I share practical self-care tips. They are typically free or very cheap and usually from celebrities. Sometimes I throw in my own self-care tips for You Glow Girl, but I hope you guys enjoy this one this week. So Margot Robbie, who is the star of the new Barbie movie, quick plug if you have not seen it, fantastic. If you are a millennial, I feel like it was definitely meant for us. It just is so funny and cute and nostalgic. Shed a tear several times in the movie. Not even ashamed. It was a wonderful movie. Very cute, very touching, very surprisingly deep. But anyway, Margot Robbie, who is the star of Barbie, in an interview years ago when she was asked about self-care and just how she manages her crazy, hectic schedule as an actress, she shared with the interviewer that she has so many things to keep track of as an actress. And what really helps her is writing it down, which I've already shared that with you guys as a self-care technique. But I found it interesting, and this is what I want to hone in on, that she said she writes down things that are fun and not so fun in her day. And I just thought that was really interesting. And I want to focus on that for a second to say, one aspect of self-care is that life isn't just life or a highlight or the best parts when you're on vacation, when you are having the best day ever. Those things are great. But let's say you only go on vacation for a weekend a year or 2 weeks out of a year, or, you're just not always on vacation. It's just not life. Like, that's just not how life works. So to make sure that in your day you are naming and identifying what sounds fun to you in that day, I think that's just a beautiful way to really focus on and remind yourself, hey, this is something I find fun and this is exciting. Today, I am going to explore a new coffee shop to work there, and I'm excited, y'all. I think it's gonna be fun, and that's one of my fun things I get to do today. I might also stop by Target for the millionth time this week. I think that's fun, right? And there's other stuff I'm gonna do. I'm gonna read and plan some presentations I have coming up. But naming specifically what sounds fun to you, I think is a great way to make sure that in your day, you have something fun planned. So, some days the fun thing is just coming home and watching Hulu with my husband, or coming home and taking a walk in the evening at the park. Whatever sounds fun to you, writing it down, putting it in your actual to-do list is a great way to make sure you don't just save fun for special times. So there's that. You Glow Girl, let me know in the comments how you guys are finding time to have fun things you're doing, to do fun things. You know what? I said what I said. Share with me in the comments what sounds fun to you and what you're doing that is fun. Okay, there we go. So I want to jump right into today's topic because it's one that is on my heart and I didn't want to wait any longer to make this video. Right now, it is back to school season. August has just begun if you're watching this video in real time. And I have already seen the flood of Instagram and YouTube and TikTok videos of teachers doing time lapses, setting up their classroom, which is phenomenal. I think the fun thing about technology and social media is that you get to see what other people are doing. You get ideas. When I started teaching about a decade ago, we had Pinterest at the time, but it was social media was nowhere near where it is now, right? Like, this is like on steroids, okay? There are people who have like balloon arches for their kids on the first day. I was lucky if my door was decorated. Our school, we did door decorations, and I was lucky if that was done by the first day of school, okay? So we were just making it. We were just making it. Listen, This is what I want to reassure some teacher out there watching this video about. Your classroom may not look picture perfect or Pinterest perfect or Instagram story perfect, but if your kids walk in and they know that you love them, they know that there are safe boundaries, you know that there are logical consequences, that Johnny can't just kick them and they're in danger, whether it's physically or emotionally in the classroom. If they know, if your students know that you will do your best to protect them physically and emotionally and mentally, to support them, to love them, that's enough. That's enough, because what that means is that's not just saying, just be lovey-dovey and don't lesson plan. Lesson plan. Part of you showing up and giving your students your best is showing them that you love them, right? But I kind of want to spend a few minutes dismantling this notion of comparing yourself, not even to the teacher next door. You're comparing yourself to the teacher who's in a school district who has limitless funds. So let me tell you why it's a losing game mentally. And I'm saying this out of love and even more as a sermon to myself. I know even in what I do now, I train schools, I'm an educational consultant, I do professional development. It's so easy to compare the people we follow online. But let me tell you why, as a teacher, that is definitely not fair to you, okay? One year early on in my career, I was at a school where we had a budget for the entire year for a single classroom of $200. If you are a teacher, or if you're not a teacher, even if you're just a parent, you know that you can spend $200 on back to school shopping for your individual child, between binders and pencils and rulers, and maybe for kids it's uniforms or not uniforms or school clothes or shoes. The point is, school stuff is not cheap. So I remember early on in my career, a lot of what I had for my classroom were hand-me-downs from other people, were things. I had a wonderful graduation party when I graduated from college, so people gave me gifts, right? But other than that, I don't know that I had a classroom that I would make a YouTube video about, or I would make it, just because it's like, oh, here I am with my 5 posters. I had my posters on the wall. I literally had what I inherited from other teachers and what I could get in the discount basket at the teacher store and what I found on sale at Target, okay? And that's not to say we didn't have what we needed. I was very fortunate to be in a school where we always had the basic supplies. We had pencils, we had glue, we had crayons, we had colored pencils, highlighters, whatever we needed to do basic teaching, our school did supply it. But for all that extracurricular stuff, if I wanted to do a random science experience or fun day that was not in the curriculum, I had $200 for the whole year. So you better believe I spent above that $200 that year. And even then, it wasn't just for cutesy stuff, right? It was for real. Like, I wanted my students to have a fun day, a fun learning day, and do something out of the box. And so I spent my own funds. Fast forward to, I think, a couple years after that, I was at another school where I got $50 per kid. Let that sink in, okay? So I had 22 students that year, I believe. And I got, in first grade, I got $1,100. Y'all check my math, because sometimes my math not be mathin'. But I believe it is $1,100 to spend on my classroom. Baby, I was all up on lakeshorelearning.com. I was buying pre-made lessons, or like, they have pre-made, if you're a teacher, So I'm kind of over-explaining for those who are watching who are not teachers, or maybe you are a student teacher right now, so you don't know. But like Lakeshore Learning or different teacher stores, they have pre-made centers. So you don't have to go to Teacher Pay Teacher and print out units and find the supplies and go buy them at the dollar store or Michael's or Hobby Lobby. No, they have pre-made math centers that have all the manipulatives you need. They have pre-made language arts centers that have all the little reading materials you need. They had pre-made centers. And when you have over $1,000 to spend on your classroom, guess what? You're getting the nice poster set from Lakeshore Learning. You're getting the really nice carpet that looks really beautiful and is brand new from Amazon or from the carpet store or wherever, right? Like you're getting the premium stuff. Why am I giving you guys this information if you are watching this? And thank you for watching it. Why am I talking about this? I'm talking about this because if you took pictures of me from the year I was getting $200 in a budget and the years I was getting $1,100 in my budget, and you were just judging my effectiveness as a teacher on how pretty my room was or how much pre-made stuff I had, you would think I was a better, like a million times better teacher, because now I have sparkly things on my wall, and we have a microphone for the kids, and we have a little stage, and we have a little rocking chair that's super cute. Like, this is not to say it is bad to have nice things. I am saying we look at things online and we assume we know the whole story. And honestly, we can psych ourselves out. I say we. I have psyched myself out as an educator before, whether it's I was a teacher or I was a principal for 5 years. And I look around and I'm like, whoa, that school looks like it has the best culture. Wow, that principal seems like all of her staff love her. What am I doing? You know, like we can just look around and we compare ourselves to people's pictures. It's not real. It's not real life. I want to give it another example. This is teacher adjacent, but I'm a teacher. I was a teacher. I was a principal. This happened while I was a teacher and principal. It's not school related, but it's life related. And I want to share with you guys something, okay? So I do nonprofit work in Zimbabwe, the country that I was born in. And my first few years of teaching, I would go there every other year. I'm hoping to go again soon, but I would go there every other year, and I did small nonprofit projects. Small, under $15,000. In the nonprofit world where there are $1 million projects, it was relatively small projects, but I loved it. I enjoyed it. It was wonderful. There was also so much people did not see behind the scenes. So I'm doing these projects in the summer, but of course that means my spring is busy because I'm fundraising, I'm planning for my trips. And I remember this is what made me have this idea to make this video today. I saw a Facebook memory that just popped up in my Facebook memories from, I want to say 4 years ago. And it says, like, you only see the pretty pictures and me smiling and, you know, giving kids books in Zimbabwe, or travel pictures, or I'm in the airport lounge. Oh, it's such a glamorous life. And I was like, I have had 22 flights this summer. A fourth of those, I've had some kind of major mishap. I believe I was like flying back to Chicago from Dubai, and my luggage like was rerouted. It ended up like not going home. My luggage was like stuck in Germany. I didn't even fly through Germany on that particular time. It was just so crazy to me. Like I had so many delayed flights, canceled flights, things I missed. And when you say it out loud, it doesn't sound as horrific as it is. But when you're in the airport, anyone who's ever traveled, and you're like dying and you're like tired and you're like not even sure what time it is because you're jet lagged, that is the not glamorous side people don't see of our lives, because social media tends to be about our highlight reels. It tends to be about what we're doing. Why am I going on this rant? Someone watching this video right now, you are not sure if you should stay in teaching because you look at these other classrooms and you are discouraged and you're like, that isn't me. And I want to encourage you with a few little tips that I think could help as you go into this next year of teaching. My first encouragement would be unfollow every single account that makes you feel less than. I'm serious. So what I've done that's kind of helped too, if I just like, I want people still in my stratosphere, but I don't want to see them on my feed, I mute a lot of people, y'all. I do. I mute a lot of people. I'm going to just say it. If you click the little 3 dots in the corner of the Instagram and you click hide, it gives you an option, like some gray bars up here, and you can click mute. And that means you will not see the person's, you can choose to not see their stories. You can choose to not see their posts. Why is this important? You become what you see, in the sense that You will develop feelings, positive or negative, about your own practice based on what you see. So be very careful. If you're following 1,000 people on Instagram, and these are all teachers that maybe they have $1,000 budgets for their classrooms, maybe they have corporate sponsors, because that's what these teacher influencers have. And I'm not throwing shade at it, but I'm just saying, like, they are not you. You are not them, and that's okay. That doesn't make them bad. That doesn't make you bad. It just means you're different, and embrace that difference. That would be my first thing, is check your social media, because many of us spend a lot of time on it. Check it, unfollow, mute, do whatever you need to do so that the people you're seeing are literally only encouraging you, are literally only feeding into where you want to go, who you want to be as a teacher. The second thing I would really encourage you to do is to get a real life mentor. That mentor doesn't necessarily have to be where you live, but get a real life mentor. I absolutely am the person and educator I am today, and I was absolutely given leadership jobs and responsibilities and roles earlier in my career than most because of the intentional, loving mentorship I received from people who believed in me. One of my earliest mentors, Dr. O, shout out to you, she's wonderful. She was a professor of mine in college, and to this day, I still communicate with her. I recently wrote this is like a little shameless plug for my article in Newsweek, but I wrote an article in Newsweek, and I was so proud to send my old professor the link to that article, because she is just phenomenal and has always poured into me and spoken life, and just says she believes in me, right? Just like our students need people to believe in them, you need someone to believe in you. And if all you're doing is comparing yourself to the Instagram teachers, you're going to get discouraged really quick. Find a mentor who can redirect you and help you focus on your own practice. And the third and final piece of trying to kill comparison is, I've heard like some of the most successful people say this: you're not competing against anyone else, you're competing against yourself. How are you improving today versus yesterday? Or if it's easier, this week versus last week, right? And that improvement can look a million different ways. Focusing on your wellness is improvement. So are you drinking more water this week? Are you getting your steps in? Have you changed, your fitness goals on your fitness watch? And are you meeting yourself and meeting the moment where it is? If you're doing that, don't compare yourself to the teacher who has $1 million classroom and is also running a half marathon. Her lane is not your lane. Don't worry, her lane is not your lane. Anyway, I'm off my soapbox. I want to encourage someone, because my goodness, if I was starting teaching this year versus back in 10 years ago, I would be quite possibly very discouraged by what I see on Instagram. Not because it's bad, but because when you don't have $1,000 out of your own pocket, for real, to spend on that kind of decor or whatever, it can be discouraging. Just know that teaching is way more than pretty classrooms. Teaching is, do your students know that they are loved and cared for? In that environment, if you show up and you teach your heart out in the lesson, I'm not saying every lesson your kids will love. Sometimes the kids play you. Let's be honest. You come in, you plan for the lesson, it tanks, it's wonderful, it's horrible. You learn even from the failures. But I'm saying all this to say, if you can accomplish creating a safe environment for your kids where they know and feel that they are loved, you have done enough. You are enough. So that is all for now, friends. I am so excited. I couldn't let this week pass without making a video, because next week, please stay tuned. I am so excited. I am going to a National Teachers Convention. I don't know what next week's video is going to look like. I don't know. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. So please tune in. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, send this video to 2 of your teacher friends as they're preparing for the new year. They can listen to it as they walk, but also comment below with what other video ideas you would like to see. I am so excited to keep making videos for you guys and making this podcast. And as always, please remember to take care of yourself. Remember, self-care is not a luxury. And remember, you can practice self-care each and every day. Bye.